everyone! Welcome again to another video lesson in General Mathematics for grade 11. We will now talk about computation of interest, maturity value, and present value of simple and compound interest. So our objectives for this video lesson are recall simple and compound interest. Yan na po yung diniscuss natin last video lesson. You can still watch it. Then the second one is to compute for the interest, maturity value, future value, and present value in simple interest and compound interest environment. So we will have a lot of formulas right now. So first, let us recall what an interest is, like what I've told you before, ito yung tubo, or the amount paid or earned for the use of money. It has two types. We have the simple and compound, wherein the simple is basically naka-base lang siya, calculated solely in the principal amount. However, in the compound, hindi lang nakabase sa principal amount, but added pa ng accumulated past interest o yung tinatawag na accrued interest. Now, the symbols for these type of interest are I sub S for simple and I sub C for compound. I hope this is very much clear with you now. So let us proceed on solving. First, we will deal with the annual simple interest. For us to compute for it, this is the formula. I sub S is equal to PRT, wherein I sub S, katulad na nabanggit ko, is the simple interest, and the P is the principal amount, R is the simple interest rate, and T pertains to the term or time in years. Let's have this first situation. A bank offers 0.5% annual simple interest rate for a particular deposit. How much interest will be earned if 200,000 pesos is deposited in this savings account for 3 years? So, obviously, this is a simple interest kasi nasabi na dito sa ating problem. At kung mapapansin nyo, yung 0.5%, that is our rate. Katulad ng nabanggit ko sa previous video lesson na ating terms about these concepts, particularly, ang rate ay naka-percentage form. Okay? At nabanggit naman dito na interest rate. And then, how much interest will be earned if 200,000 pesos deposited? So, ibig sabihin, dyan tayo nagsimula. Yan ang ating principal amount. Okay? And then, 3 years pertains to the time or the terms, particularly the bank offers. Okay? Let us now solve this problem using the formula that I've shown to you. We have here I sub S is equal to PRT. So, hinahanap natin dito is yung I sub S o yung mismong interest natin. So, P, it pertains to 200,000 pesos. Substitute lang natin. Ang rate natin na 0.5%, sabi ko sa inyo dati, move nyo lang to ng 2 decimal places. So, that is 0.005. So, 0.005. And then, ang time natin ay 3. So, as simple as that, i-multiply natin. And I encourage you to use a calculator para mas madalian tayo. Okay? So, the answer here is 3,000. So, dahil problem solving ito, kailangan sagutin natin ng tama yung question. So, ibig sabihin, the amount of interest to be earned is worth 3,000 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, 3,000 ang madadagdag sa 200,000 na dideposit na may interest na 0.5% annually. At ito yung total amount of interest for 3 years. Okay? So, I hope that's clear. Let's now proceed on situation number 2. When invested at an annual interest rate of 12%, the amount earned is worth 20,000 pesos of simple interest in 5 years. How much money was originally invested? So, Almost similar siya sa kanina, medyo kailangan lang natin i-manipulate yung formula. Okay, so yun ang technique na kailangan natin. We should know how to derive a formula para hindi tayo masyadong maraming mini-memorize. So, i-analyze natin ito. Ang given dito ay 12% automatic. Yan ang rate natin. And then, ano yung 20,000 pesos? Sabi, it is the amount earned of simple interest. Ibig sabihin, hindi iyan yung pinagmulan. That shouldn't be the principal amount. But instead, that is the interest amount already. And then, 5 years, automatic, that is the value of T. Okay? So, ang tanong ngayon dito, originally invested. By the keyword originally, ibig sabihin, nawawala yung principal amount. Okay? So, dahil dito, balikan natin yung original formula. So, that is I sub S is equal to PRT. Dahil hinahanap natin yung P, ibig sabihin, hindi natin kailangan yung R and T dito sa side na to. So, kailangan natin lang siyang i-divide. So, tawag dito is yung derivation na binabanggit ko kanina. So, we could cancel at ang formula na ngayon for the principal amount is P is equal to I sub S over RT. And then, substitute lang natin ang nakuha na daw na principal amount, rather yung interest amount ay 20,000 pesos. And then, ang rate natin ay 12%. Move lang natin to. So, that is equal to 0.12. And then, ang time natin ay 5. So, idiretso nyo na yan sa calculator. You could use a parenthesis para hindi kayo mahirapan. So, 20,000 pesos divided by, put a parenthesis, 0.12 times 5 and then a parenthesis. Para na sasabi natin kay calculator na kailangan muna niyang i-multiply yun sa denominator before we proceed on the division. So, the answer there is 33,333. So, 33,333.33. Don't forget to round it off into 2 decimal places. So, we could now answer it. The original amount invested is, syempre, yung sagot natin na 33,333.33. So, this is now our final answer. Okay? Then, the next one. Situation number 3, if an entrepreneur applies for a loan amounting to 80,000 pesos in a bank, the simple interest of which is 8,000 pesos for 3 years, what interest rate is being charged? So, ganun ulit. Ano muna ang mga given natin? Meron daw loan na amount daw ay 80,000 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, yan yung original amount. And then, yung 8,000, yan yung mismong interest amount. At ang 3 years, syempre, ay ang term. Ngayon, nawawala yung interest rate. O kumbaga, nawawala si letter R. So, balikan lang natin ulit yung formula kanina. I sub S is equal to PRT. Katulad ng ginawa natin sa principal amount. Hindi natin kailangan ngayon yung P at saka yung T kasi ang hinahanap ay R. So, ibig sabihin, yun ang i-divide natin. And then, we could now easily cancel this. Ang formula na ngayon for the rate will be I sub S over PT. So, substitute lang natin. Magkano daw yung interest? That is 8,000. And then, ang principal amount natin ay 80,000. And then, ang time ay 3. So, katulad ng nabanggit ko kanina, let's be careful on using our calculators. So, 8,000 divided by, put a parenthesis, 80,000 times 3 and then a parenthesis. So, correct answer here is, pag lumabas sa calculator ninyo ay 1 over 30, i-press nyo pa yung decimal form para yung SD sa ibang calculator para maging decimal siya. So, ang decimal form po niyan ay 0.0333 and so on. Okay po. So, with that, ang suggestion ko dyan, kunin ninyo yung 4 decimal numbers, then convert it into decimal. Convert it into percentage. Paano yun? So, baliktad lang. Going to the right na tayo. Okay, so 1, 2. 2 decimal places. So, ang rate natin is 3.33%. Okay? So, the interest rate being charged is 3.33%. So, ganyan lang kalaki yung interest na pinatong doon sa 80,000 pesos. Okay? So, I hope you're still with me. Let's have the situation number 4. It's quite tricky. How long will a principal earn an interest equal to half of it at 5% simple interest? So, what are we going to do with that? Pag sinabi nating how long, gaano katagal? So, automatic ang nawawala natin is yung time, the element of time. So, we need to look for T. Ngayon, ang 5% automatic, yan ang ating rate. Asan pa yung ibang given? So, basahin nating maigi. Principal earn an interest equal to half of it. So, ibig sabihin, ang rate natin ay 5%. Ito yung ibig sabihin ng principal earn an interest. Ito yung interest natin, I sub S. Dapat daw equal siya sa kalahati man lang ng principal amount. Okay? So, yan ang ibig sabihin nun. Ngayon, ang gagawin natin, balikan ulit natin yung formula, I sub S is equal to PRT. Dahil kailangan natin si T, so divide natin yung PR on both sides. So, cancel yan. So, to get the value of the time, we need to divide the interest into the product of principal amount and the rate. So, ang ating pinaka-I sub S ay ito na po. Ano yung gagamitin natin? Kasi yan yung condition eh. So, 0.5 P. And P is still P. Kasi yan yung condition. Wala namang specific. And then, yung R natin ay 5%. So, move ulit natin. So, yan ay 0.05. So, 0.05. So, as you can notice, makakancel na natin si P. So, we're just going to divide 0.5 by 0.05. So, get your calculators again and then divide it. So, the answer here is 10. So, as simple as that. So, ang tamang sagot dyan ay, in conclusion, it will take 10 years for a principal amount to earn half of its value. Medyo matagal, no? 10 years. Kaya nga yung iba talagang bago mag-invest, kailangan pinag-aaralan mo ng maigi yung interest. Okay? So, I hope that's clear. Dapat marunong tayo mag-manipulate ng ating formula. Let's now proceed on getting the maturity or the future value in simple interest. Pag sinabi nating maturity value or the keyword itself, future value, what is the total amount, yung ending amount natin? So, ito yung ating formula, F is equal to P plus I sub S. So, pagka nabigay na, ulit, ang F ay maturity value, yung P ay principal amount, at ang I sub S ay simple interest. So, madali na to, pagka given na yung nakuha na natin agad yung simple interest, i-add up mo lang sa principal amount. So, yun na yung maturity value natin. Pero kapag kailangan mo pang computein yung simple interest, ito yung isa pang formula para diretso na. So, ang maturity value ay F, ang P ay principal amount, times the quantity 1 plus RT. R represents the simple rate, and T is the term or time in years. So, kahit ano dyan ang gamitin natin, we will come up with the same answer. So, let us now proceed in our situation number 5. Find the maturity value if 200,000 pesos is deposited in a bank at annual simple interest of 0.5% after 3 years. So, it is quite similar with our situation number 1 a while ago. So, mamaya papakita ko sa inyo kung paano siya naging related. So, mag-solve mo muna natin ito, maturity value, ano yung total amount kasama na magkasama si principal amount at saka yung interest amount. So, ang rate natin dito is 0.5% na ang katumbas po nito ay 0.005. Bakit? Kasi i-move lang natin ulit. So, that is 0.005. And then, ang ating principal amount is 200,000 pesos and the time is 3 years. So, gamitin natin yung pangalawang formula. So, F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Okay? So, the principal amount is 200,000 pesos. And then, 1 plus, ang R natin is 0.005 at multiplied yan sa time natin na 3. So, we should use a bracket. Okay? So, with that, gamitin natin ang ZEMDAS. Tama po ba yun? So, ibig sabihin, uunahin muna natin ito. So, 200,000. I-multiply muna natin si 0.005 times 3. So, magiging 1 plus 0.015. That is 0.005 times 3. And then, simplify ulit natin. So, 1 plus 0.0015 is 1.015. And then, multiply na natin sa 200,000 pesos. So, ang ating total amount is 203,000 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, the maturity value after 3 years is worth 203,000 pesos. And that's it. Balikan natin yung situation number 1 kanina. Kung mapapansin ninyo, yan po ay 3,000. Ang na-earn ay 3,000. So, ibig sabihin, idadagdag lang natin iyan. So, the principal amount plus the interest rate. So, ang principal amount natin ay 200,000 pesos. Yung nakuha nating interest ay 3,000. So, ibig sabihin nga, tama yung sagot natin kanina na ang future value ay 203,000 pesos. Okay? So, I hope that's very much clear with you. Parehas lang naman yan. Kahit ano ang ating gamitin, we will come up with the same answer. So, I hope I'm helpful for you. So, let us now proceed on compound interest. So, we're done with this simple interest. I hope that's very much clear with you. So, unahin muna natin ang maturity or future value sa compound interest because it is needed for us to compute the exact amount of the compound interest. Okay? So, kung mapapansin ninyo, ang formula natin ay F is equal to P times R 1 plus R raised to T. So, yung T natin ngayon ay exponent na po. Okay? So, sa simple interest, ang kaibahan lang niya, ang T ay katabi ng R at minumultiply lang. So, ngayon, exponent na siya. So, similar lang ulit ang ating mga symbols. F is the maturity or the future value. P is the principal amount. R is the interest rate, particularly with a compound interest. And then the T pertains to the term or time in years. So, Paano makuha ang compound interest? Katulad na banggit ko sa inyo kanina, kailangan ang future value. So, ang symbol ng compound interest I sub C, F is the maturity or future value, and then P is the principal or the present value. Okay? So, please take note of these formula. So let's have situation number 6. Mr. Nicolas invested 150,000 pesos at 12% compounded annually. He plans to get this amount after 5 years for his child's education. How much will he get? So, katulad ng ginawa natin kanina, kunin natin yung mga key terms. So, compounded annually. So, automatic, compounded na formula ang ating pag-uusapan. So, take note of that. So, ano-ano yung mga given natin? Ang R natin ay 12%. Tapos, ang principal amount natin ay 150,000 pesos kasi yun yung amount invested ni Mr. Nicolas. Tapos, gusto niyang kunin yung pera after 5 years. So, ang terms natin ay 5 years o yung time element. Pag sinabing how much will he get, total amount. So, we're talking about here the total amount. So, pinagsama na yung interest at saka yung principal. Kaya ngayon, ang ibig sabihin nito, ang nawawala sa atin ngayon is yung future value o yung maturity value. So, ano nga ulit ang formula nun? Almost similar lang din sa ating simple. Ang pinagkaiba lang, ang T ay exponent. Okay, so please be very careful. Ang P natin ay 150,000 pesos. And then, ang ating formula ay times 1 plus ang R natin ay 12% o i-move natin to, magiging 0.12. And then, ang time element natin, 5. So, raised to 5. Okay? So, with that, unahin nyo muna ito sa calculator. Input it first in the calculator. Tapos, idiretso nyo na. Pagka-equals ninyo, times nyo na sa 150,000. So, parenthesis, 1 plus 0.12. And then, click the exponent. Then, 5. Yun yung exponent natin. Click nyo yung equals. And then, times 150,000 pesos. So, ang amount natin ay 264,351.25. So, laging 2 decimal numbers lang po. So, the total amount. So, let's now proceed on our conclusion. Mr. Nicolas will get 264,351.25 after 5 years. Okay, so yan na yung total from 150,000 naging 264,351.25. Kaya ang kadugtong na tanong nito ay, magkano ba ang compound interest? Okay? So, madali lang. Katulad ng ginawa natin kanina is yung I sub C is equal to F minus P. Na-compute na natin yung future value. Na ang future value is 264,351.25. So, lagay lang natin yun doon, 264,351.25. Ima-minus lang natin sa principal amount na 150,000. So, get your calculators. I-minus lang natin ng 150,000. Ang compound interest amount is worth 114,351.25. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung tinubo ni Mr. Nicolas after 5 years. So, Mr. Nicolas get 114,351.25 compound interest. Okay, so I hope that's very clear with you. So let's now proceed on the present value in compound interest. So paano natin malalaman kapag ang hinahanap na is yung principal amount? Okay po. So pag sinabi nating present value, principal amount. So nanggaling lang yan din sa future value na formula. So dahil ang kailangan natin ICP, i-divide natin yung hindi natin kailangan. That is the quantity of 1 plus r raised to t. And then, cancel lang natin yan. Ang formula na ngayon is P is equal to the future value divided by the quantity of 1 plus R raised to T. So, simple as that. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo kanina, pwedeng wag na kayong masyadong mag-memorize ng formula. Kailangan marunong lang tayo mag-manipulate. Okay? So, ito na ang formula in getting the principal amount in compound interest. P is the present value or the principal amount. F is the maturity value. T is the term or time in years. And R is the interest rate. So, let's try it in another situation. Miss Joy aims to have her investment grow to 500,000 pesos in 3 years. How much should she invest in an account that pays 7,000 compounded annually? So, compounded, automatic compounded ang ating pinag-uusapan. Ang tanong ay, how much should she invest? So, ibig sabihin, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, nawawala si principal amount. Magkano ang dapat niyang ihulog? So, let us get all the given. Ang rate natin ay 7% compounded annually. Ang future value is 500,000 kasi iyan yung ini-aim niya. O, aim. Okay, so yan ang keyword for the future value. Okay, and then T is the 3 years. So, kailangan lang natin gamitin yung ating formula kanina. P is equal to F over the quantity 1 plus R raised to T. As simple as that. So, ang future value natin is 500,000 pesos over the quantity 1 plus 7%, change it into decimal, that is 0.07. And then, ang time natin is 3. Okay? So, 500,000. Simplify nyo muna yung denominator. So, get again your calculator. Parenthesis, 1 plus 0.07. And then, raise it into 3. So, ang sagot po dyan is 1.225043. Divide natin yan sa 500,000 pesos divided by 1.225043. Okay, so I think we got it correctly. So, the principal amount is worth 408,148 pesos, 0.94. Rounded off na po siya. Okay po. So, ibig sabihin, Miss Joy should invest 408,148.94 pesos in an account that pays 7% compounded annually. Okay, I hope I'm helpful for you. Sana naintindihan. You can go back to the video para mas maunawaan ninyo kung paano mag-solve. With that, I would like to end with this summary of formula. Be very particular with the problem. Pag nakalagay ay simple interest, dapat ang gamitin na formula ay pang simple interest. At kapag naman compounded, syempre, yung compound interest. Okay? So with that, math may be difficult for most of us, but do not give up. Let us continue to practice and persevere. Math-isip ng mabuti, matanong pag hindi maunawaan, mat-usap tayo. Maraming salamat po and God bless us all.